I should be thanking you.
Oh, I should be thanking you people because, well, it's very rare for people to support people. I have people here who don't want to support me.
You
Oh,
know, that's your cross, right? Like, it looks like that's the way God set up things
yeah.
to test it, to make sure that you really can do it. So you have to push until when you're about to faint. That's when people will come and support you.
Mhm. I deeply appreciate, man. I do.
Okay, I'll send the link now.
Right. Cool, because, well,
Right? Like, it looks like that's the way God said. Alrighty, let me send the link. Oh wait, Isaac, I need to add your number so I can send it. You have Facebook there? I could send it on Facebook too.
okay, you can send it on Facebook then.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'll do it, and please let me know if you see it. You know, I heard the story of Abraham, that when Abraham was about to die, when
Mm-hmm.
God sends the angel to come and take him, so he told God that, how can you take your friend?
Mm-hmm.
And then God asked him that, who doesn't want to be with a friend?
Mm-hmm.
So when God loves you, God will suffer you.
Suffer.
Yeah. So when God
Suffer.
loves you, God will suffer you.
You kind of you will soon hear some of my story though.
I can't wait. I send on Facebook. Did you
Called
get it?
called Brian, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So basically to share it, right?
Yes, let me share on my wall too. Shout out
Okay.
to all those who have joined. Today we would have a session, chat with the Glory Kings. Uh, anyway, I wouldn't talk much. You figure out who she is. But she commands a lot of power. Those that do gospel music, it's like those that can cook and then they know how to cook everyone's traditional meal. So they can cook the best food. And since music is food for the mind or the soul, will get to listen to her, learn from her, hear her story, contribute. Feel free to post, ask questions as much as you can. Thank you. Okay. Okay, so I shared on my own wall. So, and to those listening, the song playing is actually fresh. It just dropped. Glory. Sorry, I said Gloria. Uh, how do you feel when you're about to release a song?
Oh wow. A bit nervous. Quite nervous really.
Why, if I may
Bit,
ask?
bit nervous. Each time I'm about to release a song that I'm very, very nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel so nervous because I kind of feel, oh, how would people feel about it? I hope it blesses people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really kind of so keen about whether it's hit or not. If it's hit, oh, hey, fine. But I really, after I'm really after people getting blessed. That's what I'm basically after.
Mm-hmm.
Just like when I shared some of the songs,
Yeah.
sorry, this single, when I shared it on my WhatsApp to some of my contacts, and a guy who has been, I've never met him before, but we kind of connected somehow via social media, and then we've been chatting. And when he saw it, he's a Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news is that he says that he wants to convert to be a Christian because of me. I'm like,
Mashallah. I'm a Muslim too. Can you imagine?
oh, wow.
Yeah, sorry, continue. Yeah.
He literally said, oh, now I'm ready to convert to be a Christian because of you.
Oh,
That you're an inspiration. I'm like, woof, that's amazing. That's the
mashallah.
reason we are doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So like, glory to God, you know.
Yeah,
Um,
mashallah.
that's I said, even if it's the only thing I achieve by recording this song,
Mm-hmm.
I'm fulfilled, to be
Mashallah.
honest. Yeah, that's a so one to the glory of God.
Mashallah. I mean, most times when we like live our lives, we hear of words like glory,
Mhm.
God, and when we're young, we can't really imagine what that means or what this mean, and then we start growing, and we start realizing it. Like some
Yeah.
of it could be you realize some gift. So I'm wondering when you realize that you could sing, how did that make you feel? And we realize that because you know it, you realize that, oh, this thing that I can do it in this way that is enjoyable, but then it's putting it out there. So how did you feel when you realized that you could sing, or like God gifted you something that is that beautiful?
Well, my journey and my singing coming into music
Mm-hmm.
is quite a funny one and quite unique.
Mm-hmm.
Well, growing up, I grew up in the northern part of Nigeria,
Mm-hmm.
and then I happened to find myself serving in my local church at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I was basically in a pastor's house serving,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I was in the choir.
Yeah.
I generally love music, but I wasn't this kind of person. I'm this kind of person who likes to be at the background.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to be seen and all that. So I joined the choir, and I wasn't really the one of the lead vocalists,
Mm-hmm.
as a soloist in the choir at the time. I usually sit at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I was doing well, but I wasn't really, really thinking about music that much. I was just there to, you know, just to serve God, really. I wasn't really thinking about music or maybe if I can sing or not, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to lie about that. So, but the funny thing is, while I was there, I kind of, when I gave my life to Christ, I kind of started seeing myself with other um, people in the choir that sing in other churches as well.
Okay.
I remember a camp meeting. It was a massive camp meeting, like another church from another church. Then I have a group of friends
Mm-hmm.
who were also in the choir in other churches who actually wanted me to solo a song.
Oh,
And
wow.
when I sang it, they were like, "Ooh, God, beautiful voice." I'm
Uh-huh.
like, I didn't even believe them. I didn't believe in myself, to be honest. I
Mm-hmm.
I kind of, what have I sang that? So everybody was like, wow, that your voice is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I've never desired to be a gospel artist. That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The only striking thing that happened was something happened in my local church. I had to move to another church. Um, and when I got there, I was so broken because I was feeling bad that I served God. Why would God let things like that happen to me?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not, maybe because everyone know me. So this time around, when I moved to the new church,
Yeah.
basically I'm gonna stay low key. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not gonna join any group. I'll just serve God quietly. So funny enough, when you do things and make your decisions and think God is not listening and probably God is not God
Yeah.
is not hearing you.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, I had a cousin who lives in another city in Nigeria at the time in the east.
Mm-hmm.
She has never seen me sing before.
Mm-hmm.
All we do was when we go home for Christmas, we just sit down. We kind of do night prayers and all that. We're very, very, very close. She's my cousin of mine.
Uh-huh.
So, um, so we never spoken for a while, and she has never had me sing. We never talk about singing at all.
Mm-hmm.
So she just called me. I actually went to that church, did exactly what I said I was going to do. I just sat, I always sit at the back of the church, not wanting to join any group, just don't want anybody to see me.
Yeah.
After church, I'll be the first person out of the door.
Mm-hmm.
So my cousin phoned me and just said, Lori, I have a message for you, because she's got this gift of like prophecies from childhood. It's just her gift. So she was praying and God gave her a message for me. I'm like, what? And I always, I always have this fear when you talk about God. So she said, I said, what is it? She said, oh, that God says she should tell me that he wants me to be singing for him. I'm like, wow. So I started telling her the story of my life. I said, how did you even know that I moved? This is exactly what I'm doing now. She said, well, you need to go back to the choir. God said he loves it when you sing for him. So I didn't argue. I had to go back to join the choir in my new church. That was how I started. I never left choir since then, until when I came to the UK. I relocated to the UK in 2008.
Oh wow!
So I joined the choir as well. I never really stopped, because of that word. That word kept me going.
Yeah.
But I never really knew God wanted me to, this was the meaning of God wanted me to be singing for him. I thought we were just sitting in the choir.
Yeah.
In my church, I would lead praise and worship. I was committed and everything, but I didn't know God wanted me to take it further step, to come out and be a gospel artist. And I never desired it. I never desired to be a gospel artist at all. So what happened was in 2015, everything started unfolding. I was in a dream one time, and then I saw myself in a big concert. And inside that big concert was Beyonce. I'm like, Beyonce.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
I saw Beyonce. Oh my goodness! I'm like, I called my cousin. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't even listen to Beyonce's song. Well, don't get me wrong. I'm a fan of Beyonce.
Yeah.
But all the time I listen to gospel music because of the lyrics. They minister to the soul. I don't really kind of discriminate what everyone is doing. Everyone is doing their own thing in their own way.
Yeah.
But I'm the one that will never really wake up and go to get Beyonce's song to listen. But I knew that dream was meant something good, but I didn't understand actually the meaning. So I decided to stay low key. So my cousin said, it's a good dream, but she too didn't understand the meaning of the dream. So I kind of waved it aside. So I lost my mom in March 2016. Amen. So 2016, that was on Easter Monday, I lost my mom. So we did the funeral and everything. So I moved on. It was hard time for me. I didn't know I was gonna kind of get over it, but you know how God is always there to comfort us when we lose a loved one.
Yeah.
So I remember being on holiday in August 2016. And that period, I started feeling so empty. Before then, I had people talking to me about, oh, you have a call. You have a call. But I didn't take it seriously. Then a sister very, very close to me told me, say, your music, God wants you to sing. You need to come out and start doing music. I said, who, me? I don't have that voice. I'm the least person God will want to sing. There are people who have angelic voices. I don't think I'm that good to come out as a gospel artist. Meanwhile, I've never desired it, number one. And number two, I don't even have, I don't know how it works. I've only been in choir, and even being in choir, I wasn't really active like that. I wasn't all these popular soloists. You say, okay, they are the ones you expect to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
So she kept telling me, I ignored her. Then other people kept telling me, you should do this. I'm like, please, I had my plan of what I wanted to do. I wanted to go back to uni to do some things. And then, set up some business. I had a massive dream. So I wanted to go back to uni.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's the life, you know. You plan your courses, how you're going to take this course, take that course, take this course. You're not thinking God is then doing his own thing.
So I had everything all planned out.
Uh-huh.
And then this thing keep coming. And I felt, I said, because I'm a nurse.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Mashallah.
So at a stage, I started losing interest in my job. I just felt there's a vacuum in me that needed. I couldn't figure out what it was, but I felt so empty at the time, and I felt like my life was worthless. So I couldn't figure out, kind of wrap my head around what was going on at the time.
Yeah.
So this was the time I was having pressure from people and friends saying, do this. And to be honest, it gets me angry when they tell me to do that. It was getting me angry. I always kind of, please stop it. So when God realized I wasn't listening, so he now gave me a dream. So he came to me in a dream. This time around, it was Kelly Rowland.
Oh, wow.
Kelly Rowland actually came to the UK for a concert. And it's a massive concert with so much crowd. I happened to be in that concert. It was kind of a long dream. I was on like clips.
Yeah.
So when Rowland came, she was performing. All of a sudden, she jumped onto from the stage. She came down and picked me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picked me. I'm, oh my God! In that dream, I was like, oh my God! I'm going to faint now. I'm going to pass out. This cannot be real. I was like, I can't believe it's me. How could it be me in this massive crowd? Yeah. So she hugged me, and then that clip passed. Then the next clip, I found myself in the streets in the US. So I don't know where it was. It wasn't, I live in the UK. Yeah. I know European environment and UK environment, US environment is totally different.
Yeah.
So that was American environment with streets. I don't know where it was. So I was passing and I saw her again, Kelly Rowland. So I just said, hey, can I take a picture of you and I? She said, yeah, sure. So I brought up my phone to take the picture. I couldn't find the camera. So that passed, that clip passed. Then the next clip, I still saw her again in another street, still American street. Yeah. And then she hugged me and said to me, I'm going to help you. So when I woke up, I'm like, oh my God. So why am I seeing all these people in my dream? For goodness sake. Then the sister said to me, the sister said to me, God is telling you, he's giving you a message. Why not obey? Once you obey, he might just take you to that level. So why not just obey God and do what he wants you to do? I'm like, no, I think that's what it is. I know it's a good dream, but I didn't still listen. So what happened was eventually, the one that made me to come out was when God used Sinach. You know Sinach?
No.
You don't know Sinach? Have you not heard about Sinach?
No, but I can search.
Sorry,
don't mind my ignorance. So, is gospel artist too?
Yeah, she's a gospel.
I don't really follow. Like I told you, I'm a Muslim. I listen to Alhamdulillah, Rabbil Alameen. These are my kinds of recitations.
Waymaker, Miracle Worker, Promise Keeper, that Waymaker.
I don't know them.
Oh really? Yeah. So she was the artist that she wrote Waymaker and all that. So
oh wow.
So in that dream, I kind of saw her. It was just like herself and myself. Yeah. She just held my hand and prayed fervently for me. I could just feel the electric current all the way from my head to my toe.
Oh wow.
And and then the next one was where she wanted to go and perform, and then we were all contemplating what color of weave she was going to fix on her hair before she goes to perform. And I woke up. So it was so real that I was just like, oh my goodness. So as this dream happened, the next thing I had was a voice. I had it so clear, asking me, do I want to be like that story in the Bible that talk about people that God gave talents? and one went and buried it.
Yeah.
No, that was when I knew that this is it. So I had to go back to God and apologize for being stubborn. And then and then that I'm ready, I was ready to go ahead and do whatever he wanted me to do. Honestly, that was how I started, and that was how he started giving me songs. And that was this thing happened in 2016 around August, September. So by 18th of November 2016, I released my first single.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's how I started the whole journey. And since then, honestly, how I write songs, I don't know them. I don't know. It just the talent just came alive. I don't struggle to write songs, and he has really graced me. So my ministry kicked off on the 18th of November 2016, and it's just been quite challenging and amazing journey. But
Mashallah.
2018, I released my debut album, 7th October 2018. Yeah,
Wow.
back songs. Yeah,
I will look for that album. I don't really listen to gospel, but I must confess that we had G Josh here, and then we
yeah,
had uh, Dr. Frank, and
yeah,
I realized some kind of excitement listening to them. Like
yeah.
they, just like with you now,
Mhm.
just from how the voice sounds, is real. It's strong. You see the way you guys are. You have some kind of strength that it's almost as though you're holding back. Like that's the
Yeah,
same way. The way I'm feeling talking to you now is the same way I was feeling talking to Dr. Frank and Josh. Sometimes they'll forget. I think it will happen to you. They'll forget
mhm.
that release a lot of energy, and then they'll feel like, oh, and then they'll bring it down. So I realized the energy is really powerful and strong, and it's connecting me to this power. I'm a Muslim, and I'm glad that I can at least enjoy gospel music. Yeah, so from that end.
You convert to be a Christian.
Well, if Allah say it's fine, but for now, not
Oh,
sure.
I'll pray. God will do
It's the same
that.
God. We'll meet in heaven. So anyway, you're mentioning how, like, from your ministry and how God revealed the songs to you, or how
Mhm,
God is revealing to you. You see, that's the
mhm.
kind of vocabulary to that shows some kind of special relationship with
Yeah, yeah.
God. And it reminds me of this story. There is a poet that said
Mhm.
that that inspiration used to come to her, like, sometimes flying, right?
Yeah.
So she was in the farm, and this inspiration came to her. So she didn't have a pen. So she started
Mhm.
running to the house, running, and as she's running, the inspiration is flying away. So she dove, picked up the pen, and then jumped and caught the inspiration, but she caught the tail. So when
Yeah.
she wrote whatever she wrote, but she wrote it upside down because she started from the tail. So that's just a joke that they used to make. But when I chat with you, it
Mhm.
reminds me of that connection with
Ah,
inspiration, with some energy that is out there. So,
mhm.
so is it that if you want to have a song now, you just say, okay, it's time to maybe write what is God telling me, and then you wait, or is it something that you can be walking somewhere and it just arrests you, like as if it's a cop that just arrests you, and then you just start doing your thing that you have to do? How is it for you?
No, with me, the way God has led me, just a few of my songs, I got them in a dream.
Okay.
I can just get maybe like a chorus.
Mm-hmm.
I'll sing them and wake up. And then most of the other ones are basically the inspiration came from all I've been through in life, my
Okay.
life experiences, my life journey,
Mm-hmm.
and then some other ones, maybe we're in the church, maybe there's a message
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of connect to it. So maybe music will come out of it. And then some of them as well from the Bible, the
Mm-hmm.
scriptures.
Yeah.
You're reading the scriptures and then there's inspiration comes from there.
Mashallah.
Um, yeah, basically that's how I get my songs. Mostly my life experiences. And I remember one of the songs in my first album, um, is My All.
Mm-hmm.
That's in his presence album. That song came from a place when I was praying,
Mm-hmm.
because I had friends who disappointed me. I did so much for them, and then they kind of let me down. So I went back, I was crying, I felt all alone and everything. So when I went back to God and I was praying, God gave me that song, that He's my all.
Mm-hmm.
I should look up to Him and not a human. So that was basically how that song was birthed. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh wow.
Mhm.
Mashallah. You know, one of my best moments is when I'm praying and just imagining like the things that come to mind. Like, let's say in the Quran, for example, there are times that they say that God raised the heavens on top of the earth with no pillars.
Yeah.
So I start sitting and thinking that wait, all the buildings that I've gone to, they have pillars. So when I think of the cloud that is on top of the earth and it doesn't have pillars, how did God make it? So when I start
Yeah.
thinking of those, sometimes in praying, I start laughing. Can you imagine when it's so beautiful and amazing? I can't figure it out. It's like magic. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's really an amazing thing.
Mhm.
Or when I start thinking of how big the universe can be,
Mhm.
like how we are taught in physics and other courses that the earth is going around the sun, but the sun is going around another bigger sun, which is going, and they're just going free. It doesn't have any end. Then when I imagine that, man, God, how did you make that? You see, it
Mhm.
just blows my mind away. So
Mhm.
I mean, it's really amazing that force that God can give us, if and only if we can connect with it. So
Yeah.
how do you feel when you hear of things like atheism, especially there in the UK or in Europe? And coming from Nigeria and Africa, you probably had a world view, and then you go to Europe and it's different. Some people even saying there's no God and stuff like that. How do you reconcile all of those as a gospel person, someone that is really close to God? You
Oh,
think God
I've
exists?
actually, I've worked, well, even at work, you meet people who tell you they're some of them is agnostic. Is
Yeah,
it
some are agnostic. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
because they're in between, they are not sure if there's God or not. Then
Mm-hmm.
there's atheists who don't even believe there's God at all.
Mm-hmm.
What I do basically is not to get into argument with anyone.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you just talk to them, and because I remember getting into a discussion years back with a colleague of mine who
Yeah.
is a theist,
Uh-huh.
and she was really like very firm about it. She wasn't going to listen to anything. She just says all she believes in is that there's no God, and Christmas
Yeah.
in her belief is just a time of family coming together. It's not even celebrating. It's
Yeah.
not celebrating the birth of Jesus Christ. So you see, her belief was so strong
Mm-hmm.
that, well, I just have to. I can't sit down and start arguing with her.
Yeah.
What I was, I've said to her, I've told her that there's God, and hopefully that will sink in. And the best thing with those kind of people is just to go and pray. You just be
Yeah. I
praying
see.
for
Uh-huh.
God will reveal Himself to them.
Yeah.
Because engaging in conversation, in argument with
Mm-hmm.
them, it wouldn't even make any sense, because you just end up wasting your time. Because to be honest, it's God that draws men to Himself.
Mm-hmm.
All you can do is just to say the word, and I believe that words are seeds. So once you say the word, you leave God to do the rest.
Mashallah.
So there's no point going to argue and start telling them you must be. No,
Mm-hmm.
no, no, it doesn't work that way. Yeah. So it's just
Awesome.
basically just pray for them, and leave God to do the rest. Yeah.
Mashallah. You know, it's an interesting journey and insight that you have right there. And now I'm wondering, uh, you have this relationship where you can dream, like God can reveal things to you. In
Mm-hmm.
dreams, it's left to you to take action. And if you
Yeah.
look at history,
Mm-hmm.
people like
Yeah.
uh, Joseph, even Pharaoh, right? Like God always showed them things through dreams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then if you look at, I think it's Saul, Samuel. Yeah, Samuel
Yeah,
and other.
yeah.
Yeah, so they themselves get to understand that there are times when these dreams don't come. Either they think they've done something wrong or something else is happening. And I think
Mhm.
that's why Saul even went ahead to contact someone, to contact a witch doctor or something. They used to go around to ask a prophet, like, what's happening, you see?
Mhm.
So, but that really makes you understand yourself and humanity in general. So I'm wondering if in your experience and experiences, you've figured out, not really figured out, if you have this experience that tells you that, okay, this is what I need to do and do to have this more of these dreams. Or when I stop doing this, those dreams go away. So I don't know if you've had such experiences and if there's anything you can tell us about that.
Um, I don't think so. I don't. Well, basically, I feel to make it clearer,
Yeah.
like developing a gift and sharpening it
Okay.
better,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have a better relationship with God,
Okay. Okay.
um, by praying more, you know, and reading the Bible.
Okay.
So that helps you to kind of get better and a clearer um, view about your gift.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the Bible, God share gifts to everyone. People have different gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So you might have it and it's not very clear, but you need, if you for you to sharpen it,
Mm-hmm.
you have to develop a closer relationship with God.
Mashallah.
So that's how it works. Praying more and reading the Bible more. So with that, you see, you get better and better and better at it. To be honest, that does not mean that there are no times I have funny dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Dreams comes in the multitude of activity.
Yeah,
You
right.
probably of someone over and over and over and over again
Yeah, right.
about the person when you think about someone so too much.
Yeah, true.
There's between something that is a revelation. If you have a revelation, you will know. And then if you have just funny dream because of multitude of thoughts,
Mm-hmm.
you will know. Do you understand?
Yeah, mashallah. I get
Maybe
it.
you eat late at night. Do you know that
Yeah,
when you eat late at night, you go to bed and you start dreaming funny dreams or see.
yeah. I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Yeah, so there's difference between having just maybe you load yourself with so much. I don't know if in Cameroon, do you people eat fufu
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Cameroon?
Fufu gari. I mean, if we have even Kwabi. Like there are many Nigerians in Cameroon, so we have all sorts of soup. And just for you, my tribe originally migrated from Congo.
All
So
right.
yeah, we first of all settled in Nigeria around Calabar, and I hear there
Oh,
was some sort of a river and crocodiles. So the people did not know the
mhm.
environment, and they had to migrate further, and that's how we settled in Cameroon. And some of the cultures are still the same. So we love to swallow. We have
Yeah.
we have some soups that we love to
Imagine,
cook.
waking up well,
Mm-hmm.
eating by 10 p.m. at night.
Uh
You
huh.
just eat and swallow a lot of fufu. So when you go to bed,
Uh-huh.
probably have funny dreams. Do you
Mm-hmm.
understand? So
Yeah.
that's basically the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah.
So there's difference between you having a revelation and you just loading yourself with so much benefits
So
and
much
then
fufu.
go to dream.
So you eat fufu and then you gotta sleep. It gets stuck on your neck and you feel that someone is pressing your neck while you're sleeping. And you say,
So,
"Oh Jesus, Jesus." Anyway. So
so that,
anyway, yeah, I see. And one thing I'm curious about is uh don't mind if I'm asking questions too much. Like I just like to seize the opportunity to dive deep into things when I meet those that I think I can help me go deep. You see,
yeah.
so you mentioned that there are many gifts that are given, like in the Bible. Like when you were saying talking about people sharpening their talents, so you made something that struck my mind in a strange way. Like
Mhm.
you said that there are many when you pray, you sharpen your talent and reading the Bible, and then you say God gives people talents in the Bible. So that got me thinking: is do you mean in terms of the stories that were already given, or do you mean that it's a life process? That's as you're connecting with it, you're actually taking the talent right there.
No, the thing is, in life, there's nobody that hasn't got any doesn't have gifts. Each and every one of us, God has given us one gift or talent or the other. It's just left for you to discover it and stay there and work on it. There's no one that doesn't have gift or talents God has put inside of them. We all have different gifts and talents. Mine might be singing, another person might be
cooking
business. They're all talents.
Yeah, I'm cooking fufu now.
The other person might have the gift of praying, intercession, praying for others and stuff like that. So there are different ways God has gifted all of us. It's just for individuals to find out what gift God has gifted them with and run with it.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
The
Bible is, like kind of a mirror to us. So what happened in the Bible is it's just an example for us to to work with. What happened in the Bible is not just mere stories. So they're still happening today. There are the things that God did years back, and it's still the same God, and He's still doing the same thing in people's lives today. So there's nobody that will feel, oh, I'm empty, I'm worthless. No one is worthless, except you decide to stay and not work hard to find or discover your talent or your gift.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Joshua Abuman, he says that hi Glory, so good to see you here. I've been longing to ask you the miracles behind your many awards, even as a new artist.
Oh my goodness. Well, as I said, answering that question, as I said, I never desired to be a gospel artist. It wasn't something I desired at all. My coming into gospel music was just divine. When I accepted the call, after so many pressure from here and there, I asked God one thing. When I remember that day I prayed, and I asked Him for one thing. I said to Him, He knows my heart. I've never really desired to do that. I had other plans. So I don't want people to think I'm just in it because I want maybe fame or whatever.
Yeah.
So I want Him to prove to the world that He's the one sending me.
Okay.
So, and honestly, from 2017, I've seen Him do that in a lot of ways. So the awards I'm winning, to be honest, I don't know. I can't really tell you that. I'm even in shock myself.
I think you've told me. I think you've just told me now, in the sense that you said you pray to God that God should like show you the sign, right? To show the world that He's the one that sent you. So these are the signs. So in the same way that like when Moses was chatting with Pharaoh, and I remember Audu Meikori, the CEO of Chocolate City, he told me that when God asked Moses in the bush, when God appeared, Moses asked God that what is he going to do to show those people that it's God that sent him. So God said, "What is in your hand?" So Audu was saying, and he used to stick. That was what he used to show those signs. But Audu was saying, "What is in your hand is your talent." So Moses took that and went and performed magic. Even the magicians could not. So and that was a sign from God. So I don't know. I was just inspired to think that those awards are some of the signs that God is showing you that you told Him to show that He is the one that sent you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mashallah. So then about nursing, before I ask you, I mean, like, I think there's not much difference between being a gospel person and being a nurse. I may be wrong, but if you think I'm talking any sense, please help me understand that.
Well, they are all. Well, I see nursing as also part of ministry because you're helping people taking care of the sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because during the COVID,
Mm-hmm.
I had a break from music
Okay.
because it was during from March last year when the COVID hit the world.
Yeah.
Was quite nerve-wracking actually going to work.
Yeah. I can
You
imagine.
have to kind of build momentum to leave for work
Yeah.
because it was quite scary at the time. So I had to take a break from music so I can concentrate because my mind was all over the place. So I remember someone's asking me, when are you going to release? I'm like, not this time.
Mm-hmm.
My going to work is also part of the ministry. So yeah, I see it as also part of, taking care of people. You also, because human beings are the God we see. We
Yeah.
can't
Right.
see God with our physical eyes. Yeah.
And nowadays too, although like the world is changing with
Mm-hmm.
COVID, and us too were changing because when from a young person you see life differently. Some of the things are words, then you start experiencing them,
Yeah.
and you have to like make a living and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. So how, when it comes to surviving today, one has to be very smart in terms of
Mm-hmm.
business ideas and sustainability, because that alone you're using some of the tools that God made, from accounting to even money. God allowed all of those things to happen. So as a gospel artist, how do you reconcile all of those, like living normal life? Because I'm sure I have the stereotype that most people have, that gospel artists are to be this holy or that holy, and perhaps not even think of the arena as a business arena. So, are there misconceptions that we have, that the public may have, that you have recognized and that you may want us to know?
Yeah, when it comes to being a gospel artist, you're not a superhuman,
Mm-hmm.
and that's even the more reason devil attacks. That's the truth.
Okay.
Uh, Gospel artists have their own personal life, and
Mm-hmm.
honestly, they face a whole lot of challenges in life.
Okay.
Like I'll give you an example.
Yeah, please do.
Of myself. I talk about myself a
Yeah.
lot because I share my personal experience.
Yeah.
So I launched my debut album
Mm-hmm.
on 7th of October 2018
Mm-hmm.
with a concert here in Edinburgh, and
Mm-hmm.
it's an album launch with a concert which was really really successful and massive.
Uh-huh.
7th October 2018.
Yeah.
Then 2 months after,
Mm-hmm.
things started changing. I had a challenge,
Uh-uh. Yeah.
um, and that challenge, um, the devil struck, and that was my marriage.
Uh-oh.
So having issues with my marriage. I
Uh-oh.
had,
Ashia, in
well,
Cameroon, Ashia is like more courage to you.
yeah.
Mm, yeah.
So I started having issue, and that took from that January 2019 till that was it. The devil struck literally 2 months
Yeah.
or 3 months after
Mm-hmm.
the devil struck. So basically, what I'm saying is, gospel artists face a whole lot of challenges.
Yeah.
You can imagine launching that kind of album. I got a lot of feedback. People were blessed by it, and a whole lot of things. And then, boom, after spending so much money on the album, having a concert, it wasn't small money,
Yeah.
14 track songs.
Oh wow.
So you can imagine. And then with physical copies,
Mm-hmm.
about 10 cartons. Well, it
Yeah.
was about a
Mm-hmm.
thousand, a thousand copies,
Mm-hmm.
physical copies, CD.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, that
Yeah.
was
Mm-hmm.
produced. So you can imagine being in that kind of state.
Yeah. Right. I can.
You wonder, that will make you question, is I heard that God is sending me. Is it really God sending me? How would I do this for God? And now this is my life. So those are the challenges that, so you literally, your life changed. And at the end of the day, while I was battling with that one, COVID struck. So you can imagine, when I said I took a break from music,
Yeah, right. You
I
need
had
to.
to take a break to get myself back on track, get everything fixed to come back to music. So this is literally what I'm saying about gospel music. There's so many secret battles
Yeah.
people are fighting out there, and the devil try everything to make sure that you don't go ahead. It's not easy to come out to be an artist. To be honest, I'm not gonna lie. To be honest, if not that I have a call that I'm 110 times sure of,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I'm gonna be doing this, because you spend so much money,
Mm-hmm.
you do a whole lot, and people see your posts, even people you know, no,
Mm-hmm.
they don't support you.
Yeah.
Um, People just see you and walk away. So it's not for the faint-hearted, really,
Mm-hmm.
to be a gospel artist. It's not the glamour people see. People
Mm-hmm.
see the glory,
Yeah.
but they don't see the battle you face, the challenges you face in your personal life. You have to, as well, and as an independent artist,
Mm-hmm.
you have to source out funds
Yeah.
to push your music. You can put out music out there and not be able to promote it. Promotion is key. You need to push it for it to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes the grace of God to really, that's why I'm still very grateful to God, to be honest, for where I am, because He wouldn't think someone like me would be able to, get to the level I am now, if not for the grace of God. So
Mashallah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
this is actually, well, with all the things going on. No, I released a single last year, February.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was the only thing I released last year at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, no one. I released a single last year, and that was it. So after a long break, this is me coming back
Okay.
to release another single. So yeah, gospel artists face the whole lot. They are humans,
Mm-hmm.
but people see the glory and the glamour and think it's all rosy. It's not. It's hard work. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon,
Yeah.
really. Yeah.
Mashallah. Yeah. So there is a question. Thanks for that. That was very inspiring. There is a question from Joshua again. So he was asking. Just a second. Let that load. Where is this thing? All right. I'll just open it from here. Okay. I got it. Yeah. So he says, and if you don't mind, Glory Kings, how do you manage to combine being a registered nurse, mother, and musician at the same time?
Well, I don't even know. I don't even know how I do all this. To be honest, I have no idea how I do it. But one thing that kept me going was when I eventually accepted the call to
Mm-hmm.
do music.
Yeah.
I knew there was, while I was serving in a pastor's house years ago. I
Yeah.
remember a pastor who told me that he saw that there will be a time I'll live permanently abroad,
Mm-hmm.
and there'll be a time I'll leave my job and join full ministry. So I didn't understand what it meant at the time. I didn't even believe it. But me, I knew when I accepted the call to go into gospel music. I knew that at some point I was going to give up my job. That's when the music picks up. I put every of my passion in it. So my doing nothing is just to raise money to support my music, basically. I know
Mashallah.
that there'll be a time I'm going to leave my job and do music full time. As God graces me, it's not by my power, but I don't know how God is going to do it, but
Mashallah.
yeah, it's basically everything is by the grace of God. I have no idea how I do it, but it's the passion I have to to make God proud that made me to, even when I'm tired, I'm going. Yeah, and I don't even struggle. I don't struggle to get it done because He sees my heart.
Mm-hmm.
So He graces me to get everything done and combine everything. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Joshua. I hope you felt the strength in that as I did. And when we started, and you had mentioned someone telling you, well, you had been dreaming and about this talent and strength that you have, but you're trying to ignore it, and you just mentioned something like that again. That reminds me of Jonah, the guy. You know, they always joke the guy who swallowed the fish swallowed him. One of them. You see,
Yeah,
yeah.
the story actually inspired me because at a point I said I don't want to be like Jonah,
Uh-huh.
running away from what God wants him to do, suffered for it, and still had to go back to the same doing the same thing. So I just said to myself, it's either I just go straight to it now, than just saying no, then I'll have to suffer for it and then have to still go back to the same thing. So Jonah's story was really, really massive for me, and it was all that was ringing in my head. I don't want to be like Jonah. I don't want to be like Jonah. Yeah,
Mashallah. I mean, that's a very funny story. Even the way it is in the Quran, and like those stories are really really amazing. And
yeah,
even Joseph, the
mm-hmm.
and his brother sold him, and he was in
Yeah,
prison. Yeah, but he was always praying. In the Quran, it's even said he was the leader. He was almost like an imam in prison.
yeah,
He was always praying and had all these revelations. But like you have echoed that hard work, like this is what we always find in the lives of those people. And it looks like to you too, that's the power that makes you be a musician, or
yeah,
a general actually, like a musician, mother and nurse at the same time.
yeah.
Mashallah. So now again, let's continue with the business part. Since now a lot of people are really excited about the arts, from be it Africa and be for Africans and the rest of the world. I don't know if it's that how it's always been that people discover the talents and then there's this whole wave of
Mhm.
evolution and let's say innovation, or if it's new, both from a historical point of view and like a really spiritual point of view. Because now there's an explosion. A lot of
Mhm.
people are discovering these talents and trying to produce. Even for the consumer, there's just too much, too many branches to take. So
Yeah.
for those that are coming up as artists, how do you navigate through this whole dynamic world of these explosions that are just constant and continuous?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, as I said, there's a whole lot of people going into music and all that. And to be honest, as I've always said,
Uh-huh.
um, starting music as a new artist,
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't do it. If it's left for me, I wouldn't want to do it
Mm-hmm.
because it's not as easy and as rosy as people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's so much to it, as I've mentioned before. It's not
Yeah.
for the faint-hearted
Mm-hmm.
because this the when you see the artists who are up there,
Mm-hmm.
established artists, let me use that word,
Yeah.
established artists, it looks as though it's easy,
Mm-hmm.
but to be
Uh-huh.
honest, it's not rosy as people think it is.
Mm-hmm.
People just see the glamour in it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard work. And as I said, it's still not sprint,
Mm-hmm.
it's a marathon. Um, because if you come into it thinking, okay, when I come into it, there's a whole lot of expectations in your mind. You'll be thinking, oh, once I release this song, everybody will know me. The
Yeah.
song will go viral. The song will become an anthem. Will be
Mm-hmm.
sung in churches. You start getting loads of traction, but it never happens. Then you find out that you release that song, nobody listens to it,
Mm-hmm.
nobody supports you,
Mm-hmm.
and after you release it, and that dies down that way. So it is not for the faint-hearted. That's what I'm actually still maintaining that,
Yeah.
because there's a whole lot to it. Music requires a lot of money as well,
Okay.
because you have to produce the songs, you have to shoot videos, you have to promote the songs. There's a whole lot involved. It's very, very, very expensive. So if you're not doing all this, and I've seen people give up and say, "Oh, do you know what? I'm done with this. I'm not doing it because I spent so much money." You can imagine someone, okay, you're in the US.
Yeah.
You spend $2,000 or $3,000 to shoot a very beautiful video
Yeah.
and put it out there. And by the time you know it, you're only getting maybe 500, well, 200 views,
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
spending that kind of money. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And it's
I
your
do.
an independent artist.
Mm-hmm.
It's your own money. If you're signed to a record label, it's a different thing though, because your label will push you, your label will do a whole lot, they will invest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's not the easiest. That's all I have to say for a new artist.
Mashallah.
I have to really convince
Mm-hmm.
and know that this is where you what God has called you to do, or this is your destiny. And then once you keep pushing with consistency, you gradually get there.
Mashallah.
Mm.
Thanks. Thanks for that wisdom that you put. I really connect with that. Even this podcast, as a content producer, I
Mhm.
produce this content, and I get people like you come and tell us like deep things that like
Mhm.
can really help us move ahead,
Yeah.
because sometimes they always say, don't give someone a fish, like
Mhm.
teach them how to fish. You see, so
Mhm.
you would have people that may look at us as
Mhm.
maybe that person can help me do this or help me do that, and you notice that there are too many, so it's easy for you to just create something that they can capture value from. But when
Yeah.
you do that, it could be your song, it could be a podcast. The same people that really need it, they're not even there. They don't have time to look at it and stuff, and it's just a whole cycle. But
Yeah.
on my part, I get to enjoy. To me, it's very therapeutic. Like just
Mm.
having these conversations with people across the world is really
Yeah.
amazing. Learning, like I've captured a lot from what you say, and
Mhm.
what you said. All those journeys, you talking, me thinking of Jonah. That's an experience that I can't pay for. So
Mhm.
that's how I really enjoy this thing. And on the side too, I'm really trying to learn. Is It's a rabbit hole. In my
Mhm.
field, I'm a computer programmer. It's We
Mhm.
talk of rabbit holes where you see something and you
Mhm.
want to learn it, and then you have to learn something else. But for you to learn that thing, you have to learn, so you just go into a whole pit, like a
Yeah.
rabbit. So yeah, so I know it's a rabbit hole. So I know that I have to check out marketing,
Yeah.
time management,
Mhm.
leadership, so that I can work with people and all of us can work together. Yeah, although it's not easy. What's your experience in that? Like building a team or trying to build something that you can partner with people and move it ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, it's not the easiest.
Mashallah. So
Mhm.
so yeah. And then how about Nigeria? Like your connection with Nigeria, that's your homeland. Like do you go there often?
Yeah, man, I'm proudly Nigerian. I love my country.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm always in touch. The songs you see that are released, they're all produced in Nigeria.
Oh, okay. Oh wow.
Nigerians are talented, they've got everything. My album, they were all produced in Nigeria. There are
Mm-hmm.
Nigerian producers, amazing talents in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm well connected. I go home all the time. So I like the sound from my country. They are gifted. We have major artists, big artists in Nigeria, and amazing talents, producers in Nigeria as well. So yeah, all my music, well, apart from one,
Mm-hmm.
one was produced in Dallas,
Oh,
but
in the United
it's also
States.
Nigerian. Yeah,
Okay.
one of the Afro beats I have, there's an Afro beat, Lift Him High,
Mm-hmm.
was produced by well, he's Nigerian but based in Texas.
Okay.
And yeah, he's based in Texas, so he produced it. But we still call it Nigeria because it's
Yeah,
from
I get
Nigeria.
it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mashallah. Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to see all these things that are happening, and that
Mhm.
spirit too that you share, where you go back to Nigeria and produce your things. I hear the same from Davido. Like Davido to says he goes home. Like he's in America, when he wants to produce something, do his shootings and stuff, he goes back home. Like
Yeah.
it's really amazing. I'm from Cameroon, and we have artists too that are coming up. It's also
Mm-hmm.
exploding. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when I remember when I was in high school and what it meant to not even know what is coming from outside or how far your own thing can go,
Yeah.
to today when content can be produced in Cameroon and Nigeria and it's in South Korea, Malaysia, and who knows where in the world. It's really amazing to see people really
Mm.
pick that up. So in terms of
Yeah.
collaboration, um, have, have, have you thought of like partnering with other artists like from Cameroon, Congo, the rest of the world? And is it secular or you do just gospel?
I just do gospel. I don't do secular.
Okay.
But I'm thinking of doing some love songs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess you should have a lot of experience, like in terms of like love, like your mother and artist, a nurse at the same time. All those games there with like love, so you must have a lot of experience. It will not be. I can't
Yeah.
wait. I'll be glad to really listen to a love song from you.
I do mostly gospel.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm thinking of writing some love songs,
Okay.
but the love songs that talk about life and with nice lyrics.
Hmm.
I'm thinking of doing that. God help me. I've never
Mashallah.
written any love song before.
You've just
But
acted it.
in the Bible,
Hmm.
the book of Solomon is all full of love,
Hmm.
a relationship between a man and a woman. So
Hmm.
I probably go back to the book of Solomon's and read it properly and
Okay.
get an inspiration.
Yeah. Okay. And
Yeah,
and from your connection with the Bible, what are
yeah.
like your best books, and what are some lessons that you have learned from the Bible that you're like, whoa, I wish people knew this? And what are some of those so I can get wise?
Um, the one of the stories that really touches me in the Bible was the story of about Joseph.
Okay, mashallah.
You know, how Joseph is destined to be a great man,
Mm-hmm.
but look at his journey. So each time I think about him, I get encouraged.
Mm-hmm.
So from look at his journey and from the dreams he had,
Mm-hmm.
God showed him all this well ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, he has to go through a lot. From all he went through, it appeared as if it was never going to happen.
Yeah.
But eventually, every step of the way, God led him. And because God was with him,
Mm-hmm.
even when he was in prison, God was still right there with him.
Mashallah.
But eventually, he still got to the top. So
Mashallah.
that's the story that, all the time that encourages me a whole lot, a whole lot.
Mashallah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. On my part, it's Abraham. I'm not
All
sure.
right.
I'm not sure it's in the Bible,
Oh,
but
yeah, it's
yeah, he was.
Bible.
No, I mean the story I'm to tell you. I'm not sure that
Oh,
one is in the Bible. He was burned just like Daniel.
yeah.
It's Daniel, right? But God saved him. That was before he left.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that was actually what happened before he left, and that's where it begins in the Bible. So I actually
Mm-hmm.
read it twice in Jewish history and
Oh,
in the Quran. So he
oh,
yeah
mm-hmm.
he broke the gods. His father Terah used to make idols.
Yeah.
So he saw his father make these things, and he saw
Mm-hmm.
people worshiping it. And
Yeah.
those people, they used to also have dates, so they'll make gods with dates, and after when they're hungry, they will eat it. So they
Mm-hmm.
even used to wonder that how will you eat your own god? Then Abraham now that saw his father make this thing and put worship it, he was like, no, I don't understand. He used to watch the moon, watch the
Mm-hmm.
sun, see how things change, and he knew that there's some power out there. And
Mm-hmm.
then for someone to go get one of the things that was made by God and carve it and worship it was crazy to him. So he broke all of them one day, and
Mm-hmm.
the father came and asked him, what have you done? So he told his father that he should ask the God, that he gave them food, they were fighting. So his father said, no, it's wood, they cannot fight. So he said, you see, You have said it yourself. I've been telling you all the time that this is wood. You cannot worship it, but you think it's God. So that's when the father understood that, this is not a kid. But he was embarrassed, and they took him to the king, because that was a, how do they call that? In Tofiakwa. So that was Tofiakwa. So they took
Yeah.
him and they had to burn him. But God saved him with the angels. They said they made a staircase of glass and the whole
Okay.
temperature. And from there, God took him, his wife, and then his cousin Lot. That's how they left that land and went ahead. So that's
Yeah,
the
God.
story that touches me. Like,
Yeah, in the Bible, God actually asked him to leave.
yeah, mm-hmm,
So he took his wife and his nephew.
mm-hmm, yeah, mashallah. So well,
Yeah,
yeah, that's it. And these stories, they keep pushing us to things that, I mean, we can't
learn
imagine.
from their lives are like examples, as I said earlier, just like
Yeah.
mirror.
Mm-hmm.
You look at them and see yourself in them.
Mm-hmm.
So as I said, the story of Joseph
Yeah.
inspires me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I see my life journey similar to
Mm-hmm.
similar to that of Joseph. It's quite inspiring to read about him, and that helps,
Mashallah.
to go through life challenges and all
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mashallah.
So it
Yeah.
shows that even though God has promised you, you're going to be great, or you're going to be whatever,
Mm-hmm.
that doesn't mean there will be no challenges.
Mashallah.
There will be challenges a whole lot on the way and on the road to the great destiny God has given, promised. It's not going to. It's always not an easy road. There will be challenges on the way. Yeah,
Mashallah. Yeah, all these guys suffered. If you look, all these women too, guys, Jesus, they beat him up. Like,
of
too,
course.
I don't mean to laugh, but I mean, they just look at the story. Like, they beat him
Yeah,
up too much. They killed him,
yeah,
actually. Yeah.
yeah. To be honest, if you look through the Bible, all the great men that God used, there was none of them that things came easy. They all had serious obstacles. They had challenges on their way. So, but God was always there, to give them the grace to pull through. So it's life is not an easy road. I was having a chat with a friend. I just said to her,
Mm-hmm.
she said that life is so hard. I told her I don't want to use that word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say life is a cruise.
Mashallah. Yeah, who told you it was easy? So that's what I used to ask people too. Like, you say life is not easy. So who told you that it was going to be easy?
The life in
Yeah.
itself is so hard. I said, well, I'm not gonna confess that negative. I'm gonna tell you that life
It's
is a cruise.
cruise. Mashallah. Yeah. And I mean, it's then, from your experience, then what degree of prayer does one really need? Because if we go back to this great people, as the Bible has shown us, you see Jesus praying all night, or spending 40 days fasting, you see. You see Moses 40 days fasting, and you get his inspiration until he can produce those 10 commandments that God revealed to him. And even before Jesus's passion, the main one, he prayed all night. And in the Quran, this Jesus's mother Mary used to pray to all the time. Um, this guy David, they say David used to pray all night and even sing and worship. And if there are horses that are doing something, they will stop. Like, if a horse hangs his leg while he's walking, to stop and start listening to David. Those are the things that they used to tell us. So what intensity of prayer do we need? What are some of those? Should I just pray 2 minutes and I disappear, or is there some range that I need to pray so much to absorb this energy that God has to give?
Well, number one, God in the Bible tells us to pray without ceasing,
Mm-hmm.
and like prayer is just like a dialogue between you, and it's just like you speaking to your dad.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's the way personally. That's the way I see
Okay.
it. I don't feel there's any stereotype way of praying to God. You must have to have uh, sit in one particular place.
Mm-hmm.
As if you kind of box God in a particular place.
Mm-hmm.
God is everywhere. Even when you're cooking, you can be praying.
Okay.
And you just talk to him as if you're talking to your dad.
Okay.
That's where I see it.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had times when I just said a prayer in my heart,
Mm-hmm.
and God answered them.
Mashallah.
To be honest, I had a few times like that.
Mm-hmm.
So prayer is not something that it's not how long you pray.
Mm-hmm.
I think is how connected you are to God, how your heart.
Uh-huh.
You can't be praying and be thinking of something else.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
not even be serious.
Mm-hmm.
You're not concentrating. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
It
Right.
depends on it depends on how connected you are to God. And it's not how long you pray. You probably be praying for 10 hours. Meanwhile, your heart is not there. That's not prayer.
Okay.
So even if you say a word of prayer, like maybe 10 minutes, depending on the condition, depending on the circumstance you find yourself, maybe you're at work, there's something bothering you, just say, God, please help me with this. They're all prayer.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't be at work and you want to do marathon prayer. No, it wouldn't work. Your boss probably sack you from work.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're home when you have time, there are certain things you can do. You can worship. You don't necessarily have to ask God. There are different forms of prayer. There's intercessory prayers. There's prayers of warfare prayers, maybe when you're fighting demons and enemies and stuff like that.
Okay.
And then there's prayer of worship. You just worshiping God, spending time in His presence. This time you're not asking God anything in particular. You're just Him. You just really want to spend time in His presence. Do you understand? So those are the kind of prayers. That's why I see it.
Mashallah. I do understand. And it's, I mean, you're taking me around this rabbit hole of thoughts too. When I think of that, then you had mentioned like demons. I remember like in the story that I was taught of Satan. Satan had promised to attack humans from behind, from the side, from the front, like I think from under many positions apart from one, that's from the top, the head.
Yeah.
And some of us would say demons, but we don't really understand. You see, so what are
Yeah.
some demons that we can have? And again, the devil is the best disguiser. Like apart from God, like you can never really know how God appears. The devil is very good at playing tricks that you may not understand what demon is, but if you're wise enough to feel it, then you can know how to submit yourself to God. So what are some of those demons that are just flying around that we don't know, but they're right in front of our faces?
Sorry?
So I'm asking, what are some of those things that happen to us that is like demons that are right in front of our faces and that we may not know, but we need to fight every day to move forward?
Well, that's where demon can there are ways it works. It will not come the person allows him to use them.
Yeah.
So that's where this prayer still comes in. If you're prayerful, you'll be able to overcome. Do you understand?
Yeah, I know.
That's all I can say about that. Yeah.
Mashallah. Thanks a lot. I've been learning a lot. We have been in for almost like an hour, 14 minutes. Yeah, that's really great. All this time, I've really absorbed a lot from you. Do you have any other thing to put out there that I didn't ask? When they read, they would see there. Let me be sure. Yeah, so I put the song there that here's a new song that dropped today. So is there they can click and go see it. I hope that they can harvest that energy that you planted in there for us. Yeah.
Yeah, this is just the song, and basically the song is a Thanksgiving song. Again, as I said earlier, most of my song come from my personal experience, the inspiration. This song was birthed from all I went through, as I said, from when I released my album, The Devil Struck, then COVID, a whole lot of challenges here and there, and I had to have a break for some time before coming back into music. Yeah, just to thank God, because in the midst of it all,
Yeah.
God has really been so faithful to me,
Mm-hmm.
in many ways, to be honest.
Mashallah.
I've seen people die of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen a whole lot happen, and provisions. God have been absolutely amazing. So it's just a song to say thank you to God for everything He's done for me, and I'm praying that He ministers to people as well who are going to be listening to it. It's just,
Mashallah.
yeah.
It's already doing that to me. Thank you very much for that. So
Thank you.
yeah, to everyone, this is Glory Kings. The song playing in the background is a song that dropped today. She's thanking God for all what God has done, all the trials, all the realities like COVID and the rest. She's seen people die, and it's not just her. So she's doing that. We can join in, absorb the energy, and also thank God. And we'll be surprised where that could take us to. And if you look at what she has under her belt, even from the questions, she has a lot of awards and a lot of strength, going through a lot of things, and people have been wondering how she does it. So connect with the song and see how much you can harvest and how much you can go forth in solving your own problems. So thank you, Gloria. Oh, Gloria. I keep saying Gloria. So thank you, Glory Kings. It's an honor hosting you here. Please consider this as one out of the countless number of episodes that we can have. And if you do your video, feel free to come on so we can project it here anytime and talk about it.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm really, 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 I'm really, really happy, and I appreciate your support.
Mashallah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one until we meet again.
See you again.